Greetings gastronauts, this is KeefCooks, I'm Keef, and today I'm going to do something that is very dear to the hearts of Jewish people everywhere and quite a lot of East Europeans. I'm going to show you how I make Cholent and Kishke. So before we start, a quick shout out to Jack Marsden. Marzi has just had his 50th birthday and Geraldo told me about it and wanted me to make a birthday cake. However, I do need generally a bit more than 2 or 3 days notice. And this has been requested by a couple of people. Firstly, Moose Down Under, and even more firstly, because he got in first, Nathan Goldman. And I'm deeply ashamed about this request because it's on my list. It's number 76. It's right on the bottom of the list of current requests, and it has been there for nearly 2 years. And why haven't I done it before? I have done it. I've done it 2 or 3 times, but not videoed it because I was practicing, because I didn't want to mess this one up. All Jews know about it. I don't really. So things like this, people get very pedantic and stroppy if you mess it up, if they think you've messed it up. Anyway, basically, it's not an ideal time to be doing this because it's the middle of summer and it's way too hot. This is a beef stew, basically, with beans and vegetables in it. And it was developed because Jews aren't allowed to do any work or cooking or light a fire from sunset the day before Sabbath until sunset on the Sabbath. And so what you do is you get this ready and cooking on very low heat overnight, and then when you come back from worship it's ready and you can eat it. I guess taking the lid off the pot doesn't count as work or cooking. And kishka is an essential component. It's a kind of sausage made with matzo meal and schmaltz and vegetables, and it is delicious, really. Anyway, I'm burbling. I need 12 hours to cook this, so I better get started. Alright, let's do it. Ingredients for the cholent: I've got a chunk of brisket, that's about 800 grams, a couple of marrow bones, 500 grams of potatoes, 2 medium onions, 250 grams of white beans, and 125 grams of pearl barley. I've also got about 1 litre of beef stock, or you could use chicken stock, and a teaspoon of paprika, a teaspoon of salt, and several generous grinds of black pepper. So the brisket, if you can get it on the bone, then you wouldn't need to add the marrow bones, because they're just there because they make it really unctuous. You get a sort of jellyish mouthfeel, as it were. The beans, you can use pretty much any kind of beans or a mixture. We throw all these into a slow cooker, or you could use a casserole dish in a very low oven. I've heard it said that this dish is the reason why slow cookers were invented, which sounds outlandish but could very well be true. The beans, by the way, have been soaking for about 4 hours, and the barley I just rinsed in cold water because it was a bit dusty. So peel the spuds and cut them into bite-sized chunks and layer them in the bottom of your pot. Now peel the onions and cut them into little pieces and pop those in the pot on top of the potatoes in a single layer. This layering is important, apparently. Now to finish it off, we'll add the meat and the bones. Bit of a squeeze. I might have too much stuff for my pot here, but never mind. I've drained the beans, so we'll add those, and the barley. I love barley. Then a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of paprika, and a load of black pepper. And then cover it with your stock. Right, there it is, as full as it can be, which may be a problem because we still have to get the kishka in there tomorrow. I'm only cooking my kishka for an hour or 2 at the end of cooking that. So by that time, hopefully this will have shrunk down a little bit and there'll be space for it. Anyway, basically it needs to cook for about 10 hours, minimum 10 hours. Now, the old slow cooker has been on for a very long time, and it's, you know, I was worried about it being overstuffed, quite rightly. So I've taken out the marrow bones, and I've made sure every scrap of marrow is out of those. So that's made a bit more space. I've added a bit more liquid because it was beginning to dry out. Now for the kishka, I've got 150 grams of matzo crackers. If you can get matzo meal, that's better, but matzo crackers in the blender and you're good to go. And yeah, this is not really authentic. You should have 120 grams of schmaltz, which is rendered chicken fat. I sometimes make that myself, haven't got any at the moment, so that's not happening. So I've got goose fat. That'll be, you know, an acceptable substitute to me. You want some chicken stock, just enough to make the texture what you need. An onion, a carrot, a couple of sticks of celery, 5 cloves of garlic, and 1.5 teaspoons of salt, a good grind of pepper, and a teaspoon of paprika. The old East European influence coming in again. Now, these matzo crackers, I struggled to find these. Actually got them in Sainsbury's on the edge of Bradford. And ironically, they are made in Leeds. This brand is made in Leeds, but not available everywhere. Now you want to peel and chop your veggies into kind of like small dice, and peel and crush the garlic. Now we need to cook them. So I've got a saucepan on sort of medium heat, and I'm going to put the pretend schmaltz in there. Oh, possibly a bit too much. And then we'll add the veggies. And they just want to saute until they are soft, which, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes, maybe longer. Yeah, this is actually too hot. You don't want to deep fry them. By the way, this is an Ashkenazi recipe from Michael Ruhlman, who's like the guru of Jewish cooking, so if you don't like it, blame him. While the veggies are cooking, I'm just going to pulverise the matzo crackers. I reckon that's pulverised. So it's had actually nearly half an hour, and veggies are nice and soft now and not browned. So we'll turn those off the heat and let them cool down. Okay, so that's cooled down, and I've actually removed quite a lot of the fat that was swimming around because I put too much in to start with. So now we just finish it off. We want to add the matzo meal. Matzo meal is, well, it's just flour and water basically. It tastes of absolutely nothing. And now you want your seasoning. 1.5 teaspoons of salt, a teaspoon of paprika, and some ground black pepper. And give that a stir. Now we want to add just enough stock to kind of moisten it. What we're aiming for is a thick paste. So that needs to go in the blender again. Has to be fixed the right way around. I knew that. Actually might need a bit more liquid to make it blendable. Actually, that's working a lot better. So, you know, basically we just want to break down the chunks of carrot and celery and stuff. Then we move on to the next stage, which is to turn this into sausages. Now you've got a few options of how to do your sausages. You can stuff them into casings of you know, beef or sheep casings or collagen, not hog, obviously, and to, you know, stuff them, turn them into sausages, and put them on top of your cholent and let them cook in there for the last hour or so. Or if there's no room in the cholent pot, you can do them in a separate pot with simmering stock in it and a lid on. Alternatively, you can do them in the oven, and you can wrap them in greaseproof paper and foil. And that's what I'm going to do, because, you know, my pot is full and I'm running out of time to actually do proper sausages. So I need to preheat my oven to 160 degrees Celsius, because it's a fan oven, or 180 for a conventional one. That's gas mark 4. I think I'll be able to get 2 decent sausages, possibly more, out of this. So I've got two sheets of foil, 2 sheets of greaseproof paper, parchment paper, and just dollop the mixture into a sort of big fat sausage in the middle. And roll it up. Twizzle the ends like a Christmas cracker. I should maybe mention that the name Kishke comes from gut. It means gut, which is you know, intestine, sausage casing. So technically, what I'm doing here cannot be called Kishke. And those go into the oven for 45 minutes. Don't worry if it goes a bit over, because you cannot overcook this stuff. Well, it can, but only if the house burns down. Right, this ought to be done. Oh, our big fat sausages. Taste test time with the missus. Mrs. KeefCooks. We've got 5 minutes before the football starts.
Exactly. So there you go. You see, this is why I followed him in. Right. This is something Keef's made before, and I love. Can I get in there?
No.
Yeah. What you want on a day in July.
Hot day.
With England facing its a heat wave of unprecedented proportions, we think it's a decent flavour stew in it. Oh, that's got some gorgeous flavour.
A huge animal in it.
Isn't it? You know me, I've got veggie leanings, but I have to tell you, oh yeah, this flavour on this is fabulous. Is it alright if we just go now? Because it's England against Colombia. Okay. We watched Japan and Belgium last night. It was fantastic. Oh, well, it was fantastic.
Alright, if you like to give it a like, share, subscribe, all that. And
yeah, absolutely. England! Right.
Oi.
What? Oh, I thought we were in a hurry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Bye. Right.